Hello and greetings to you wherever you may be on this beautiful planet Earth, our wonderful home, the third rock from the sun. My name is Anthony Altman, and today's date is the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day for those of you in the United States of America. Today, in the United Kingdom, they are busy electing a new prime minister. I wish them well. Today, in this video, I'm going to read from a script rather than just ad lib it, because I have a specific message to give. I wish it to be concise and accurate. And so, over the 78 years I have experienced, learned, and lived in this body, I have come to know what I feel is the possible future of humanity. However, let me first share with you how I became sensitive enough to have this vision and to have the temerity to actually share this with you. I will do my best to use language that will not attract any negative attention from those who would limit and restrict this expression. I'm sure you understand exactly what I mean. And isn't it a shame that we have to live like this, that we are to be careful what we say, how we say, because others may not like it and thereby shut you down. I began my spiritual journey. So this is just me for the moment to give you some idea of my pedigree in a very general sense. I began my spiritual journey at the age of 8 years in 1953. Yes, I'm an old fogey, some people would say. When I displayed psychic abilities. At the age of 12, I began to attend seances. At 14, I made my first extraterrestrial contact. At 18 years, I became a member of the Spiritualist Association of Great Britain, and I had some incredible tuition there and experiences. Those were the days. Those were the days in the 60s. At 26 years of age in 1971, I learned the Transcendental Meditation technique. In 1974, I began the long study, which was more than 2 years, to become a Transcendental Meditation teacher, which I achieved in 1976, the summer of, at the age of 31 years. In 1978, I learned the Transcendental Meditation advanced techniques, including the Siddhi program, which included what is known as the flying technique and others, which demonstrated to me just how superhuman people can really be when enlightened and much more developed. In 1972, I began my long journey in learning a wide variety of alternative healing techniques, practices, and modalities. And I was an alternative healing practitioner practicing the healing arts for about 40 years. This included me going to hypnotherapy school and becoming a licensed clinical hypnotherapist, all in my service to others. For more information about me and what I achieved, please go to the About page. It's called About, of my website, which is anthonyaltman.net, ANTHONYALTMAN.net, the About page. I have lived on 5 continents, apart from my other travels. In 2008, I emigrated to Israel under the most unusual circumstances, which I described very, very thoroughly in previous videos of mine. where in Israel I experienced much spiritual progress, and I'm not talking about religion. And it is here in Israel where I still live, 13 and a half years further on. I actively engaged in experiencing 53 plus of my past lives. I've actually had that experience. Some of them vivid, some of them supported by incredible proof involving other people, some of which I have already described in other videos of mine. I learned during my life, and I think it was maybe 30 years ago, that I am a star seed, which means that my soul does not originate on this 3D earth plane, and that I am also an indigo, meaning that I came here to be of service to humanity, compounded by being a star seed, which also obliges me to be of service to humanity. And all this in addition to learning what I came here to learn for my own evolutionary process. I chose, I really did choose, to clean my karmic slate as best I could in this one incarnation, rather than spread it out over 3 or 5 or even more incarnations. However, I felt that I did bite off more than I could chew, and this life has been extremely challenging for me. I stipulated in my incarnational contract, we all have contracts when we reincarnate here, as to what we want to do and how we're going to do it, etc. So in my incarnational contract before birth, I stipulated that no one in the spirit world and other dimensional realities, especially from whence I came, were to assist me, preferring to do it all on my own. Oy vey. That was a big mistake. However, I did receive a download of information that informed me that if I was successful in my endeavor in this life, I would have a job promotion, which I feel is connected to the Galactic Federation of Free Worlds. This has been confirmed when I did what is known as timeline jumping. And I met myself in another timeline frequency where I was a scribe in a Dickensian period, hundreds of years ago, and another one where I was employed by the Galactic Federation as some kind of ambassador or moderator, mediator between disagreeing factions. Therefore, in light of all this, I chose to accelerate my evolutionary progress in every possible way, which added more burdens upon me. And yet, the desire to be one who comes to serve others carried me through to this very day. And I'm still here plugging away at my own self-improvement. All in all, I have written 36 books on self-improvement and self-help, and I have written more than 80 articles, I believe it's closer to 90, and I have made 78 videos, this video being my 79th video. And so this is my story, my pedigree, and of course there's much more, but it is inappropriate to go into any more detail here. Now, I would like to discuss why the humans of this planet, Earth, suffer so much. This third dimensional reality is a reality of polarized duality. This means that in order to have cold, there must also be hot. Likewise, day and night. Likewise, good and evil. Furthermore, all of it, everything, is all part of God, even the evil. However, We humans have free will. And that means we can choose what we want to play with, good or evil. It's for the individual to raise their consciousness as much as they can in order to know which is the better choice. Some people choose evil in order to know what evil is so that they can later choose good. Because in this polarized duality, if you don't know what evil is, it's not possible to know what good is, and vice versa. Evil is opportunistic, and wherever there is an absence of light, darkness can and will exist. In order to cause the darkness, evil, to recede, there is to be sufficient light. And this means that each of us is to have sufficient light that we are able to reflect from within ourselves. In other words, this means that we are to have a sufficient number of people reflecting more divine light from within our individual selves, and all together makes one big bright light when we have sufficient people. When the evil ones who seem to be well represented by many local and world leaders, wealthy industrialists, and other industries, notably the health industry, when they dictate mandates on issues that are not for the highest good of the people, and when the people remain silent, this is very important, when the people remain silent, inactive, apathetic, passive, that in itself conveys a message to the evil perpetrators that they have the people's permission to proceed with their nefarious, egregious agenda, whatever that may be. And this is why we suffer. One of the main reasons why we suffer. Flashing my hands, I'm sorry. I get very passionate when I talk about these subjects. Passionate. I'm filled with passion, with love of life, with the love of humanity, of this planet. And that is why I do what I do. Therefore, it is imperative that many, many, many more people, please, many more people, to be the majority, in fact, find their voice and their stamina and their courage to stand up in unison and say no to those who would want to fulfill the existential threat we all face right now. I don't advocate violence. I don't advocate big demonstrations which actually achieve nothing. All we are to do is stand up and say no. And if necessary, down tools and stay at home and go on general strike. Within a week or two, we will have the government's attention, no doubt about it. It is for each one of us to find the means and the ability from within each one of us to be able to create this unity with other humans, with other life forms, with the plants, with the earth, with this planet. And if we do not do this, the prognosis for humanity is not that good. Here now, therefore, is my forecast of humanity's possible future. And there's a few scenarios, because it all depends on the free will of the people. Humanity has been silent for centuries, and in particular since 1900, the beginning thereof. The evil ones have taken this silence as the people's permission to proceed with their agenda, which seems to include, unfortunately, the death, maiming, and sickness of billions of people as their depopulation agenda. The people continue to be silent and passive or apathetic, and this can only lead to the most dreadful reduction of humanity. If you find this unacceptable, then it behooves you to find a way to actually do something about it. To ask yourself, what can I do? How can I join others? How can we work together for the common good of the people? Such action would be the development or the further development of your own inner human potential and consciousness. And if you want to know more about that, you are to do your own research or connect with me on the contact page of my website. And I've mentioned it before. It's also written in the synopsis of this video down below. And enter into dialogue with me. I have my own ideas, and there are other people I can suggest you communicate with. The suffering of humanity and challenging conditions upon this planet are the precise consequence of choices made over the last few centuries, and more particularly since the early 1900s, as I mentioned. Such choices include thoughts, spoken words, written words, actions performed, and silence when comment was required, and non-action when action was also required. If nothing significantly changes at this time, I foresee a great many deaths, unfortunately. Great many maimed people and sick people as a result of what we experienced recently and over the last 30, 40, 50 years. And I don't want to say any more about that. This is because many chose to have the mandated jabs. I am saying more about that. And the consequences are plain to see for those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Just do your research. Without bias, against or for, just do your research with an open mind and open heart. You will be shocked, if you are not already shocked, about the truth that is emerging exponentially. Quite a few countries are about 91% plus jabbed, like Portugal, New Zealand, and Australia. And we are yet to see the consequences, the greater consequences. Already what's happening is off the charts, especially in New Zealand. Information has come out. "91% includes Portugal, New Zealand, and Australia. And yet we are to see the consequences. As I said before, I'm sorry, I'm rereading the same sentence. The USA, Israel, UK have about 70% plus people jabbed. Europe is similar, perhaps a higher percentage in some areas, some countries. And certainly the Scandinavian countries, some of them are well and truly high up there jabbed. The new research emerging is now telling us what a number of us already knew, and the news is quite alarming. Should this process proceed unchecked, there will be a small group of survivors, 10%, 20% at the most, in my opinion, this is my opinion, my perception, of the planet's population, who will learn from all these mistakes and who will be pioneers to start building a new golden age. This planet will recover, and there will be the survivors, and in the course of time, perhaps several hundred years, life will be very pleasant. A new golden age will be created. Another possible scenario is that many more people begin to find their voice right now. And I'm urging you and others, including myself and people I know. This is why I'm doing these videos. And with life-supporting thoughts, words, and action, life-supporting, we will begin to effect positive change on the planet starting right now, this year, 2024. Medical and health discoveries will also help many of the jabbed people to reverse the damage done or prevent further damage. This is already becoming known. People who've damaged their bodies. So what we are learning, that they can be remedied or at least prevented from getting worse. This is good. Which will be available, all the stuff will be available to those who are receptive. Are you receptive? Many are not. Many have just don't want to hear, don't want to see, don't talk about it. How can you resolve anything when you don't discuss it, talk about it? Research. This will help swell the numbers of those who will co-create much more divine light to be present right here and right now. The darkness will recede and the evil will dissipate. Huge lessons will be learned, and there will be many, many more survivors. Thus, a golden age of humanity will begin to be created over the next century or two, and humanity will complete another great cycle. I like this scenario. We can change, even if it's the 11th hour, we can change. All we are to do is choose to change, want to change, and then do it. The purpose of incarnating here on planet Earth is to help ourselves evolve in consciousness. You can take many, many lifetimes, hundreds in fact, or you could do something to accelerate the process, which is what I'm endeavoring to do. Planet Earth seems to be the best school for this type of education in our universe, and many souls clamor to be born here. It seems that after many millennia of human life on this planet, many more humans have been able to graduate from the school, and a significant number are not obliged to reincarnate here on 3D planet Earth anymore. Yay! This evolutionary process allows individuals to develop more of their inner potential and consciousness, which is their permanent gift. However, the trappings and distractions of this planet are many, especially when we suffer soul amnesia, usually within the first 3 years of being born in a human body. Finally, the ultimate possible benefit of being a human who has graduated from planet Earth school is that they become eligible to participate in the superhuman program, which is designed to help bring peace and harmony throughout our universe and perhaps beyond. This is a most remarkable plan for which it seems humans were created as hybrids, containing the DNA of many, maybe thousands of extraterrestrial races, and thus are well placed, when enlightened, to be ambassadors of peace, harmony, divine love, divine compassion, divine light, everywhere, everywhere, throughout the universe, the multiverse. Therefore, humans are far too important to allow those who do not know very much, and there are many on this planet, to cause the demise of those who do know. Therefore, there is a self-created form of separation. And those who choose to be jabbed to the hilt are those who are sorely challenged to survive now and maybe later on, as we are currently seeing the huge increase in excess mortality rates all over the world, especially those in areas where the people have been thoroughly jabbed. All it takes is the action of research, asking questions, and being open enough to perceive the truth. If this is not possible, such people write their own destiny very clearly with their own choices. All this drama is to help us learn huge life lessons so that we can proceed with our evolution as fast or as slow as we choose. As we evolve and use more of our senses, consciousness, conscious awareness, and potential, the floodgates of incredible possibilities open up, and we can, in fact, become enlightened, superhuman heroes discussed by those who knew eons ago, and which we could see in those sci-fi movies like Masters, Heroes of the Universe. Yes, this is a possible future for each of us, if we so choose. And if we allow ourselves to evolve in that way, such heroes will occupy all levels of life, from peaceful warriors to leaders, from peacemakers to householders, all of whom will be able to help co-create and support a stable, wise, enlightened humanity to be of great service to all of life everywhere. Wow, I'm inspired. Where do I sign up? Thank you for listening to me as I walk this road very much less traveled and invite you to join me. We have an opportunity to learn great lessons and to learn specifically how we can develop more of our innate human potential, which is vast, and how to learn how to learn how to, excuse me, passion again is taking me over, to learn how we can raise our consciousness. Again, on my website, you can see, as I've mentioned so many times again, a worthy explanation of what consciousness is. And there are areas on my website that help people understand what they can do to raise their consciousness. And if you wish to discuss this with me, I'll be happy to discuss it. And you can go on the internet, you can research, discuss, ask questions, and do whatever you can to develop your greater potential. This is the time to do it, because if you do it now and you are successful in whatever measure, that can only contribute to a greater survival of more people, more human beings, to ensure a much bigger, greater golden age. Thank you very much. Until next time.